कि पाकिस्तान ने हाई स्पीड मिसाइल सुबह 1:40 पर इस्तेमाल करके पंजाब के एयरबेस स्टेशन को दागने की कोशिश की। एक निंदनीय और अनप्रोफेशनल एक्ट के तहत पाकिस्तान ने श्रीनगर, अवंतीपुर और उधमपुर के वायुसेना अड्डों पर चिकित्सा केंद्र और स्कूल परिसर को निशाना भी बनाया, जिससे उसके द्वारा फिर उजागर हुई। पाकिस्तान द्वारा सैन्य ठिकानों को जानबूझकर निशाना बनाने के पश्चात भारतीय सशस्त्र बलों ने त्वरित व सुनियोजित जवाबी हमले किए। टेक्निकल इंस्टॉलेशंस, कमांड एंड कंट्रोल सेंटर्स, रडार साइट्स और हथियार भंडार को चुनकर निशाना बना पाक सटीक हथियारों व लड़ाकू जेट से प्रहार किए। सियालकोट का एविएशन बेस भी प्रिसीजन एम्यूनिशन से टारगेट किए गए। इन कार्रवाइयों के दौरान भारत ने कम से कम कोलैटरल डैमेज की क्षति सुनिश्चित की। चिंता का विषय यह रहा कि पाकिस्तान ने लाहौर से उड़ान भरने वाले नागरिक विमानों की आड़ लेकर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय हवाई मार्गों का दुरुपयोग किया ताकि वह अपनी गतिविधियां छिपा सके। ऐसी चालों ने भारतीय वायु प्रतिरक्षा तंत्र को नागरिक सुरक्षा सुनिश्चित करते हुए अत्यधिक संयम के साथ कार्य करने के लिए विवश किया। साथ ही साथ पाकिस्तान ने मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन का सहारा लेते हुए आदमपुर स्थित S-400 प्रणाली, सूरतगढ़ व सिरसा के हवाई अड्डों, नगरोटा के ब्रह्मोस बेस, देहरागिरी के तोपखाना पोजीशन तथा चंडीगढ़ के अग्रिम गोला बारूद डिपो को नष्ट करने के झूठे दावे सोशल मीडिया पर फैलाए। भारत इन फॉल्स नैरेटिव्स को पूर्णतः खारिज करता है। नियंत्रण रेखा पर पाकिस्तान ने ड्रोन घुसपैठ और भारी तोपखाना गोलाबारी के कई प्रयास किए। कुपवाड़ा, बारामूला, पुंछ, राजौरी और अखनूर सेक्टर्स में तोप, मोर्टार एवं हल्के हथियारों से भीषण गोलाबारी जारी रही। भारतीय सेना ने प्रभावी व तुलनात्मक प्रत्युत्तर देते हुए पाक सेना को काफी क्षति पहुंचाई। पाकिस्तान सेना के अग्रिम क्षेत्रों में सैनिकों की डिप्लॉयमेंट बढ़ती दिख रही है, जो स्थिति को और भड़काने की मंशा दर्शाती है। भारतीय सशस्त्र बल पूर्ण परिचालन तत्परता की स्थिति में है। अभी तक सभी शत्रुतापूर्ण कार्रवाइयों का प्रभावी ढंग से सामना कर उपयुक्त जवाब दिया गया है। भारतीय सशस्त्र बल दोहराते हैं कि वे तनाव वृद्धि नहीं चाहते, बशर्ते पाकिस्तान भी ऐसा ही व्यवहार करे। आखिर में आपको कुछ वीडियो दिखाना चाहती हूं जहां पर इंडियन आर्मी के वेपन्स LOC पर पाक के एसेट्स को ध्वस्त करते नजर आ रहे हैं। स्क्रीन में आप देख सकते हैं इस वीडियो को। धन्यवाद। जय हिंद।
Pakistan military continued their provocations, carrying out aggressive actions employing multiple threat vectors all along the western border. Pakistan employed UCAV, drones, long-range weapons, loitering munitions, and fighter aircrafts to target civilian areas and military infrastructure. Pakistan military also resorted to air intrusions using drones and firing of heavy caliber weapons along the line of control. Along the international border and the line of controls, air intrusion and several harassment attacks were also attempted from Srinagar till Nalia at more than 26 locations. Indian Armed Forces successfully neutralized these threats and majority of the vectors. However, limited damage was sustained to equipment and personnel at Indian Air Force stations at Udhampur, Pathankot, Adhampur and Bhuj. There were also several high-speed missile attacks noticed subsequently after 0140 hours in the night at several air bases in Punjab. In a deplorable cowardly act, targeting of civilian infrastructure also had taken place, where Pakistan attacked the Medicare Center and school premises at the air bases of Srinagar, Avantipur and Udhampur, yet again displaying irresponsible targeting of our civilian infrastructure. In a swift and calibrated response, Indian Armed Forces carried out precision attacks only on identified military targets. These included technical infrastructure, command and control centers, radar sites, and weapon storage areas. Pakistan military targets at Rafiqi, Murid, Chaklala, Rahim Yar Khan, Sukur, and Chunya were engaged using air-launched precision weapons from our fighter aircraft. Radar site at Pasroor and Sialkot Aviation Base were also targeted using precision munitions. While carrying out these responses, India ensured minimum collateral damage. Pakistan has also attempted to execute a continued malicious misinformation campaign with claims of destruction of Indian S-400 system at Adhampur, destruction of airfields at Suratgarh and Sirsa, BrahMos base at Nagrota, RT gun positions at Dehrangyari and Chandigarh forward ammunition depot, with heavy damages to other military stations being propagated on social media. India unequivocally rejects these false narratives being spread by Pakistan. Along the line of control also, Pakistan has attempted multiple air intrusions using drones and conducted shelling using heavy caliber RT guns, targeting civilian infrastructure and killing some civilians. Heavy exchange of artillery mortars and small arm fire in Kupwara, Baramulla, Poonch, Rajouri and Aknoor sectors continued. Indian Army has responded effectively and proportionately, causing extensive damage to Pakistan Army. Pak military has been observed to be moving their troops into forward areas, indicating offensive intent to further escalate the situation. Indian Armed Forces remain in a high state of operational readiness. All hostile actions have been effectively countered and responded appropriately. Indian Armed Forces reiterate their commitment to non-escalation, provided it is reciprocated by the Pakistan military. At the end, I would also like to show you a few images of Air Force bases in the Punjab sector and Rajasthan sector, where it is mighty clear that we are debunking the Pakistani claims of causing destruction at these air bases. You can yourself see the normalcy in these Air Force stations. This is Sirsa, Suratgarh. The runways are intact. There are also time stamps, just notice, there are also time stamped. This is today. Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Colonel Qureshi. Thank you, Wing Commander Singh. I just have a few points to make in closing. First of all, as you have seen, Pakistani claims about activities that they have undertaken continue to be heavy on lies, misinformation, and propaganda. And on top of that, this is peddled by Pakistani state agencies. The claims that they have made about attacking and destroying various places, various military installations and facilities, as has been pointed out by my colleagues here this morning, are completely false. The claim about the Air Force station in Sirsa being destroyed, completely false, as you've seen. The claim about the Air Force station in Suratgarh being destroyed, completely false again, as you have seen. There's a claim that has been made that the S-400 base at Adampur was destroyed, completely false once again. Claims have been made about large sections of Indian critical infrastructure, power systems, cyber systems, etc., being attacked and destroyed, completely false. I would urge all of you and all those who watch this not to be misled by this tissue of lies that is being peddled by the Pakistani state for obvious purposes. The second point that I wanted to emphasize is that Pakistan continues with its execrable and wanton campaign of targeting civilians and civilian infrastructure, especially in the states of Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab. There is also on its part a consistent attempt to sow discord between communities in India. As I said, there has been a particular focus in its targeting of civilian infrastructure and the population in Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab. Earlier this morning, Pakistan shelled the town of Rajouri, killing the additional District Development Commissioner, Shri Rajkumar Thappa, adding to the civilian casualties and the damage in that state. We have also observed overnight damage to property and injuries to civilians in Firozpur and Jalandhar, among other places. Finally, as I said, Pakistani officials also continue to make ludicrous claims about India firing missiles towards Sri Amritsar Sahib. As I said, these lame attempts to divide India are doomed to failure. We have also seen in some of the remarks that have been shown on television that the Pakistani army spokesman seems to take great joy at the fact that the Indian public should criticize the government of India with regard to various issues. It may be a surprise to Pakistan to see citizens criticizing their own government. That is the hallmark of an open and functioning democracy. Pakistan's unfamiliarity with that, again, should not be surprising. And finally, there is this yet again completely ludicrous claim that Indian missiles have hit Afghanistan. Totally frivolous allegation. And I only want to point out that Afghan people don't need to be reminded about which country it is that has on multiple occasions in just the last 1.5 years targeted civilian populations and civilian infrastructure in Afghanistan. Ladies and gentlemen, as you would have gathered from this morning's briefing, we are dealing with an evolving situation. Accordingly, today we don't have the time to take questions, but we will continue to update you on this situation as we go along. Thank you all very much for joining us this morning.
Hello and welcome to a special bulletin of the News Minute, Newslaundry and Scroll. I am Pooja Prasanna, joining you from the studio of the News Minute, and from the studio of Newslaundry, my colleague Basant Kumar is joining us. It's a morning full of updates, and we will bring you the important updates in just a bit. This is a news bulletin that we're bringing together, and this will be only verified facts and information without any exaggeration, any lies, any bravado, and no narrative setting. With these bulletins every day, multiple times a day, we want to just make sure that without any noise, we put across what has been confirmed and what has been authenticated. We will also bring you reporters from the ground. Today in this bulletin, we will have reporters joining us from Srinagar, Jammu, and Punjab. Before I go across, the same thing will be put across by Basant in Hindi. Many of you have written asking why we're doing a bilingual bulletin. This is to make sure that viewers of all three platforms get updates in both the languages, but you will not miss out if you can read or understand either of these languages. Over to you, Basant.
हाँ, हेलो पूजा। कल दिन भर कुछ शांति रही और शाम होते होते एक बार फिर से जो जम्मू का इलाका है, पंजाब का इलाका है, वहां से तस्वीरें आनी शुरू हो गई कि किस तरीके से पाकिस्तान द्वारा हमला किया जाने लगा। भारत ने भी जवाबी कार्रवाई की। आज सुबह इसको लेकर प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हुई, जिसमें कर्नल सोफिया कुरैशी, विंग कमांडर व्योमिका सिंह और जो विदेश सचिव है विक्रम मिस्री, वो पहुंचे और उन्होंने फिर से डिटेल में बताया कि हुआ क्या था। कर्नल कुरैशी ने बताया कि कल रात को पूरी पश्चिमी इलाके में पाकिस्तान ने आक्रामक तरीके से हमला किया, जिसमें ड्रोन और लड़ाकू विमानों का इस्तेमाल किया गया था और इसका मकसद भारतीय सैन्य ढांचों को टारगेट करना था। उन्होंने ये भी बताया कि एलओसी पर श्रीनगर से नलियाना तक 26 जगहों पर हवाई घुसपैठ का प्रयास किया गया, जिसको भारतीय सेना ने एक तरीके से उसको खत्म कर दिया उसको। और इन्होंने ये भी बताया कि पाकिस्तान खासकर वायुसेना के जो सेंटर है उधमपुर, पठानकोट, आदमपुर, भूंज, भटिंडा, वहां पर हमले करके जो हमारे उपकरण है उसको नुकसान पहुंचाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। साथ ही वहां जो सिविलियन है उनको भी नुकसान पहुंचाने की कोशिश कर रहा है। कर्नल कुरैशी ने भी बताया कि हमने भी जवाबी कार्रवाई की और पाकिस्तान के कई सैन्य ठिकानों को हमने नुकसान पहुंचाया। साथ ही कल एक बात, कल के जो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ था 9 मई वाले, उस दिन भी विदेश सचिव ने दोहराई थी और हमारे दोनों कर्नल कुरैशी और व्योमिका सिंह ने भी, कि पाकिस्तान अपने जो नागरिक विमान वाला इलाका है, मतलब भारत ने पाकिस्तान बॉर्डर के आसपास के तमाम एयरपोर्ट को बंद कर दिए, लेकिन पाकिस्तान के यहाँ वो चल रहा है और उससे भारत बहुत बच के कार्रवाई कर रहा है। पाकिस्तान उसको एक ढाल के तौर पे इस्तेमाल कर रहा है। अपना एयरबेस जो इलाका है बॉर्डर वाला उसको बंद नहीं किया। तो ये तमाम बातें रही। भारत ने तगड़ी जवाबी कार्रवाई की है, जैसा कि कर्नल कुरैशी ने बताया। उन पाकिस्तान के भी सैन्य ठिकानों को भारत ने निशाना बनाया है, उसका भी उन्होंने पूरी विस्तार से जानकारी दी। जी पूजा।
So a quick round of updates, as Basant was telling you in Hindi. India held a special briefing earlier this morning. The press conference, in fact, just got over. And I'll just wrap up what are the highlights that we were given in that important press conference. It was said that Pakistan has continually attacked military establishments across the western frontiers. They tried to attack 26 places in India with military establishments. And while on the May 8th and 9th night, Pakistan used 200 to 300 drones. Yesterday night, that's on the May 9th and 10th night, drones and high-speed missiles were used, targeting Punjab particularly. India says that Pakistan has also targeted civil aviation infrastructure. This is why India closed more airports today. This is something many of you might have heard of and have been wondering. So please do make note of this. This is being taken as a precautionary measure. As of now, 32 airports are shut down and 25 air routes between Delhi and Mumbai have been also impacted. India has confirmed that defense personnel were injured in several air bases, but India also says that it has been minimal. In fact, we got to see some visuals and some photographs that were put across in the press conference. The day started on a very sober note, though. Rajkumar Thapa, the additional district development commissioner of Rajouri, was killed on May 10th after a shell struck his residence in Rajouri. This was during the night. And what is to be noted, that his residence was hit continuously by shelling. Over to you, Basant.
तो आज का जो प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस हुआ, जैसे आपने कुछ जानकारी दी, मैंने भी पहले जानकारी दी, भारत बार बार यही कह रहा है कि पाकिस्तान उकसाने की कोशिश कर रहा है और भारत जवाबी कार्रवाई कर रहा है। इसके अलावा पाकिस्तान की तरफ से निशाना अब सिविलियन को भी बनाया जा रहा है, जैसे कि आपने बताया कि एक आईएएस अधिकारी की भी वहां पे इस पूरे संघर्ष के दौरान मौत हो गई है और इसको लेकर सूचना भी आ रही है। इसी बीच जो एक ये है कि बार बार मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन की भी बात हमारे प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस के दौरान की गई कि पाकिस्तान मिस इन्फॉर्मेशन फैला रहा है कि भारत के कई सैन्य ठिकानों को उसने निशाना बनाया है, लेकिन हमारे जो अधिकारी उन्होंने कहा कि ऐसा कुछ नहीं हुआ, भारत उसकी जवाब दे रहा है और पाकिस्तान हाई स्पीड, उन्होंने बाकायदा टाइम मेंशन किया कि 1:05 पर एक हाई स्पीड के जरिए भारत पर हमला करने की कोशिश की गई। जी।
Now we'll go across to Anmol. Basant, if you can talk over. We have a report from Anmol, who's in Jammu. Let's quickly get an update from him before we give more updates from the bulletin that we got earlier.
जी जी।
Okay, we're just lining up that a report that Anmol got us from Jammu. It's from a little while ago. I hope you bear with us because this the developments are coming in at fast pace, and we are trying our best to make sure that we get you as much authentic ground reports. But at the same time, we have to make sure that they're all deferred. But as Basant was informing you, news has been coming in that Pakistan, as reported by Al Jazeera, it says that the Pakistan Army has announced a new operation. They're calling it Operation Banyan Marsoos. And Reuters has said that Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has convened a meeting of the National Command Authority. This is the top body overseeing the country's nuclear arsenal. So what comes out of this will be interesting. Is this just positioning? Is there something more that will be out of it? We'll know. Before I give you more updates, let's quickly go across and see what Anmol has brought to us from Jammu. Another piece of information that's come as a shocker for India is that the International Monetary Fund, that's the IMF, has authorized an immediate $1 billion disbursement for Pakistan. This has been given under the Extended Fund Facility, that is the EFF. Now, the concern is that India, of course, abstained from voting, but there is a concern that how Pakistan will use this money is not known given their track record. And India has also objected that money has come at a time like this and it could be used for cross-border terrorism. This is a very legitimate concern that India has put across, but the money has been disbursed to Pakistan. It's also, of course, become a political row in India because the opposition is asking why could it not convince the international community to vote against Pakistan. IMF voting power reflects the economic size of each of the members. For instance, the United States holds a disproportionately high voting share, which is 16.49%. I hope we have Anmol that report from
इस वक्त
Anmol.
हम लोग रेहाड़ी में हैं, जो कि जम्मू शहर में है और हमारे होटल से करीब 10 मिनट दूर है। और ये जो जगह है, जिस जगह पे हम अभी खड़े हैं, ये एक रिहायशी इलाका है। यहाँ पर सिविलियंस रहते हैं। और आज सुबह, तड़के सुबह ही पाकिस्तान की तरफ से भारी सेलिंग हुई, जिसके बाद यहाँ के स्थानीय लोगों ने बताया कि उन्होंने आवाज़ें सुनी, धमाकों की आवाज़ें सुनी। और यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं कि एक घर को नुकसान पहुँचा है। यहाँ पर ये जो घर आप ठीक मेरे पीछे देख रहे हैं, इस घर के टॉप फ्लोर से लेकर आप देखेंगे कि इसको नुकसान पहुँचा है और सेलिंग में। और ये जो इसके बगल वाला घर है, इसको भी नुकसान पहुँचा है। उसके बगल के घर में भी थोड़ा सा नुकसान पहुँचा और सामने वाले घर में भी नुकसान पहुंचा। और इसी तरह से यहाँ पर जो गाड़ियाँ खड़ी हुई हैं, ये सारी आप देख सकते हैं। ये जो गाड़ी है, इसको भी
Okay, I apologize for that. Glitches, bad technology, but I hope you do understand we are a small team, but we're doing our best to make sure that we, kind of put our resources together and bring you updates as soon as we can. While we're sorting that issue out, joining me from Mumbai is Tabassum from Scroll. She's a senior special correspondent from Scroll. And, the whole point of doing these exercises is, of course, to bring you live updates as soon as we can, but also with authenticated updates, but also to keep everybody informed. And there is an important article that Tabassum has put together, which talks about how you can, as citizens, make sure that you take precautionary measures. Tabassum, do tell us what you have gathered, what you have put together in this article. What are the safety measures people can take? What are they supposed to do when drills are going on? Because those sirens are quite unnerving. People have been talking about it. Do tell us what they can do. You'll have to unmute yourself. Tabassum, I can't hear you.
I'm sorry. So we already know that on May 7th, there were multiple mock drills across India. Basically, this was a training exercise for disaster teams and civilians to understand what protocol they should follow when there is an air raid siren. There are already bunkers, community bunkers and individual bunkers in border regions of Punjab, Rajasthan and Jammu. So if there is an air raid siren, they are expected to rush to these bunkers. In other parts of the country, because now this drill is being held across India, people are expected to rush to sturdy structures. Either those could be safe shelters which have been appointed by the government, or buildings, or just sturdy furniture if there is some kind of air raid happening. If they are on an open ground, they are supposed to lie flat and cover their heads like this, so that they're protecting their head. Uh, Mostly when there's a high alert, which is right now in Pathankot, people will be expected to stay indoors, step out only when there is some kind of urgent work. Even indoors at night, there's a total blackout, and that blackout means that uh, there has to be zero light which is leaving your windows. The idea of a blackout is to ensure that a drone or an aircraft is not able to spot cluster of lights and figure out if this is a strategic location where people live, or this is a strategic location where we could hit. The idea is to sort of blind them. So if you are indoors, use candles or use dim lights. Cover your windows with heavy curtains or black cloth, and ensure that you are not using your mobile flashlights near the windows, because that could easily act like a tube light or a light source for drones that are moving above. These are some basics that people have to do. Apart from this, they should also listen to civil defense volunteers and police officials if there's an evacuation required. But mostly, what the government is expecting is that people should stay indoors and wait for some kind of instructions that they are given from authorities. These are just the basics, so that people don't get scared and confused what they're supposed to do. So if there's an air raid siren that's ringing in your city, just ensure that you are stepping indoors or covering yourself when you're on the ground.
Right. Thank you for that, Tabassum. Very, very important tips. I understand that, it is a very tense situation. Many of us have not seen conflict, so we do tend to get panicky. But at the same time, it's important to take these measures, as Tabassum not just told us about the tips, but also the logic behind it, the rationale behind it. And that I'm sure is helpful, especially for those of you joining us from bordering states like Punjab, Rajasthan, of course, Jammu and Kashmir, and of course, Gujarat too. Over to you, Basant. I think we have more ground reports from our reporters. Do tell us about it.
जी, उससे पहले आज न्यूज लॉन्ड्री और द न्यूज मिनट पर जो सीनियर जर्नलिस्ट हैं निरुपमा सुब्रमण्यम, उनकी एक रिपोर्ट पब्लिश हुई है, जिसमें निरुपमा ने बताया कि जैसे मोहम्मद के जो प्रमुख हैं मसूद अजहर, जब ऑपरेशन सिंदूर में बहावलपुर के मरकज सुबहानुल्लाह में जो मिसाइल हमलों में लोग मारे गए थे, उनकी जनाजा में वो शामिल हुए थे। तो जो लोग हमें देख रहे हैं वो हमारे वेबसाइट पर जाकर इस रिपोर्ट को पढ़ सकते हैं। इसके अलावा आपने बताया, फिर मैं उसको रिपीट कर देता हूं, कि अल जजीरा की रिपोर्ट के मुताबिक पाकिस्तान ने एक नए ऑपरेशन की घोषणा की है, जिसका नाम है बुनियान मरसूस, उसका नाम दिया गया है। और इसी बीच रॉयटर्स ने यह भी खबर दी कि पाकिस्तान के प्रधानमंत्री शहबाज शरीफ ने नेशनल कमांड अथॉरिटी की बैठक बुलाई है। तो अभी सब कुछ इवॉल्व हो रहा है, भारत सरकार भी मीटिंग्स कर रही है, अभी प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस खत्म हुआ, मीटिंग का दौर शुरू हो गया, और पाकिस्तान में भी ये सब देखने को मिल रहा है। हमारी साथी रिपोर्टर निधि अभी जम्मू में है, हम उनकी जो रिपोर्ट है उसको दिखाते हैं, उनकी रिपोर्ट पे आते हैं।
Basant, we'll just quickly play that report from Anmol that we couldn't play earlier because of technical issues, and then we'll go back to Nidhi's report.
जी जी।
Okay, our producers are telling us that we're still processing it. Meanwhile, we'll try and get you reporters who are live from the ground. Let's go across to Ayush first. He's joining us from Firozpur in Punjab. He's close to a location where a drone hit a house there, and there were some injuries and casualties. Ayush, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Do tell us who are the people who were injured in the drone attack. What did the eyewitnesses that you've been speaking to there tell you?
So the house where the drone fell around 9 p.m. last night is just about 10 meters behind me. The family, there are three members of the family. One of them is a woman who I think is critically injured. She has severe burns. The eyewitnesses we spoke to told us that they saw at least 15 to 20 red blinking lights around 9 p.m. coming from the other side of the international border, which is just 5 to 10 kilometers to the east of where I'm standing. And they could not hear, they could see these lights, but they did not make any noise. But this was shattered by a huge explosion, which happened at this house. The drone fell into the shed, into the windshield of a car, which has been completely smashed and burned. All three of these members are currently hospitalized.
But do tell me, what is the situation there otherwise? Because, for example, people in Jammu have been asked to evacuate, at least in some areas. What is the situation like in Punjab, where you're reporting from?
There have been no evacuations in this village so far. There was a blackout, of course, last night when we traveled here. Even the highway lights were not switched on. It was extremely dark. No evacuations so far, but there is a sense of dread and there is a sense of anxiety among people here. I asked one of the locals if they have seen a lot of commentary on social media about going to war, and retaliating to certain actions by the neighboring country, and what they thought of that. And they said that we do not want war, we want peace. And if it's going to be war, then they should just finish it for once and for all. This should not be something that should happen every other night, as it's been happening since April.
I'll just ask if we can go back to Anmol's ground report. I apologize again for Ayush's audio. I hope you do understand that he's joining us from the ground, and it is quite chaotic around, and we are going to try and clean up as much as we can when we come live next time. Bhuvan is the...
इस वक्त हम लोग रेहाड़ी में हैं, जो कि जम्मू शहर में है, और हमारे होटल से करीब 10 मिनट दूर है. और ये जो जगह है, जिस जगह पे हम अभी खड़े हैं, ये एक रिहायशी इलाका है. यहाँ पर सिविलियंस रहते हैं. और आज सुबह, तड़के सुबह ही पाकिस्तान की तरफ से भारी सेलिंग हुई, जिसके बाद यहाँ के स्थानीय लोगों ने बताया कि उन्होंने आवाज़ें सुनी, धमाकों की आवाज़ें सुनी. और यहाँ पर आप देख सकते हैं कि एक घर को नुकसान पहुँचा है. यहाँ पर ये जो घर आप ठीक मेरे पीछे देख रहे हैं, इस घर के टॉप फ्लोर से लेकर आप देखेंगे कि इसको नुकसान पहुँचा है और सेलिंग में. और ये जो इसके बगल वाला घर है, इसको भी नुकसान पहुँचा है. उसके बगल के घर में भी थोड़ा सा नुकसान पहुँचा है, और सामने वाले घर में भी नुकसान पहुंचा. और इसी तरह से यहाँ पर जो गाड़ियाँ खड़ी हुई हैं, ये सारी आप देख सकते हैं. ये जो कार है, इसको भी नुकसान पहुंचा है, ये जो कार आपको दिख रही है. और इसी तरह से इस पूरे इलाके में, यहाँ आसपास करीब 200 फीट के एरिया में जो कुछ भी है, हर चीज़ को नुकसान पहुंचा है. यहाँ पर जो लोकल्स हैं, जो स्थानीय लोग हैं, उनसे हमने बात की तो उन्होंने हमें बताया कि वो सो रहे थे और अचानक से उन्होंने धमाके की आवाज़ सुनी, और जब वो उठे तो उन्होंने देखा कि छत गिर चुकी है. कई लोग घायल भी हुए हैं इन फैमिलीज़ के. हमने इन फैमिलीज़ के लोगों से भी बात की है. और जहाँ तक कि अभी की अगर जम्मू सिटी के ओवरऑल सिचुएशन की बात करें, तो यहाँ पर काफ़ी पैनिक सिचुएशन है. पुलिस बार बार लोगों को ये बता रही है कि लोग अपने घरों में रहें, घर से बाहर ना निकलें, ताकि वह सुरक्षित रहें. इसके अलावा एयर सायरन बजाया जा रहा है. लोगों से अपील की जा रही है कि वह बाहर ना निकलें, घर में रहें और सुरक्षित जगहों पर रहें. इसके अलावा यहाँ पर मुख्यमंत्री उमर अब्दुल्ला भी थोड़ी देर पहले आए थे. उन्होंने इन सारे घरों को देखा, यहाँ पर क्या नुकसान हुआ उसका मुआयना किया. और अगर पर्टिकुलर कल रात से हम लोग बात करें, जब से हम लोग जम्मू में आए हैं, कल शाम में हम लोग जम्मू आ गए थे, और 8:30 बजे के करीब से एयर सायरन बजना शुरू हुआ और ड्रोन अटैक्स पाकिस्तान की तरफ से हमें देखे गए. और जिसको न्यूट्रलाइज भी किया गया भारतीय एयर डिफेंस सिस्टम द्वारा। इसके अलावा जो हमें अभी तक ऑफिशियल कंफर्मेशन है, उसके मुताबिक कुल 26 लोकेशन पर ड्रोन अटैक हुए हैं कल रात पाकिस्तान की तरफ से, जिसमें पठानकोट, जम्मू, बारामूला, श्रीनगर जैसे लोकेशन शामिल हैं। जम्मू के पास का एरिया है नगरोटा, वहाँ भी ड्रोन अटैक हुए हैं। यहाँ से जम्मू सिटी से करीब 100 किलोमीटर दूर रजौरी में वहाँ के एडिशनल डिस्ट्रिक्ट डेवलपमेंट कमिश्नर के रेजिडेंस पर भी अटैक हुआ, जिसमें उनकी मौत हो गई है। और इसके अलावा इस पूरे लोकेलिटी में एक पैनिक का माहौल है। पुलिस लगातार लोगों से अनुरोध कर रही है कि वो घर के बाहर ना निकले। इसके साथ ही हम लगातार इस पूरी सिचुएशन पर आपको ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट लाते रहेंगे आपके लिए। आप इन सारी ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट के लिए अपडेटेड रहने के लिए न्यूज़ लॉन्ड्री और न्यूज़ मिनट को देखते रहिए। निधि सुरेश के साथ मैं अनमोल प्रीतम, जम्मू।
That was Anmol getting you a live report from the ground in Jammu. We have another one from Nidhi Suresh, who is a special reporter from the News Minute and Newslaundry. She's also bringing you this from Jammu. Let's take a watch.
We're right now in the Hari area of the Jammu city, particularly. This area at 6 a.m. this morning, locals here were telling us that they woke up to a loud bang, a sound which was basically damaging properties here. This particular house has suffered a lot of damage and the houses around. The injured family members, the civilian people who were injured in this particular attack have been taken to the hospital currently and are receiving medical attention. There is a lot of panic in this area. There's police. The Chief Minister Omar Abdullah had just come here a few moments before. We are recording this at around 9:30 a.m. On the morning of May 10th. Just to give you a little bit update of what we have been seeing since we arrived in Jammu yesterday evening. At 8:30 p.m. last evening, on the evening of May 9th, there was a complete blackout. We were on the terrace of our hotel and it was very clearly visible that drones were being intercepted by the Indian Air Defence. This morning, we have received confirmation that as of now, 26 locations were targeted, including Jammu, Nagrota, Baramulla, Srinagar, Pathankot. And we also received very unfortunate news that in Rajouri, which is about 100 kilometers away from Jammu city, a senior official, additional district development commissioner, Rajkumar Thapa, was killed at his home this morning. An armed Pakistani drone targeted a civilian area in Firozpur in Punjab as well. Civilian casualties have been reported. They are currently receiving medical attention. What we also know is that the Jammu police have issued advisory to switch off all the lights during blackouts. We also saw the police coming into this area and asking civilians to evacuate. Although families here are asking us very clearly, where do we go? This is our home. This is where we've grown up. They have no idea where to go. Some of the family members said that since the last 1 week, they have actually shifted from the top regions of their house. That is, if it's a 2-story house, they have moved to their basement and they're sleeping in their basement. Some of them woke up to the sounds while they were sleeping in their basement, and the top parts of their house, their water tanks, all the window glasses have been broken. There is a lot of panic currently in Jammu city. The city is woken up to a lot of tension this morning. We will be bringing you on-ground live updates via our social media, video reports and tech stories. So stay tuned to News Minute and Newslaundry.
That was Nidhi Suresh. We will have more ground reports from Nidhi, Anmol and Ayush through the day. I have one more reporter who's joining us from Srinagar, a senior special correspondent with The Scroll. Safat Sarkar is joining me on the phone line. Safat, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hello.
Thank you for joining. I hope you're safe. But do tell us what is happening in Srinagar right now, because there's a lot of chatter of escalation across the country now in at least 4 to 5 states. But for Kashmir, conflicts are not new. So how is it, the escalation? How is it this time? What has the impact been in Srinagar and other places that you visited?
You see, the fact is that for a long time after this Pahalgam attack on April 22, we had seen ceasefire violations all along the line of control and international border. But after the terror strikes by India, by India's military on terror sites in Pakistan occupied Kashmir, we have seen the intensity of these violations increasing. And there has been a lot of casualties. It's probably not known, but most of the civilian death toll in the ongoing skirmishes between India and Pakistan has been registered in Poonch, where more than a dozen civilians have died. In fact, today in Rajouri, which is basically a district which is neighboring Poonch, there was a senior bureaucrat who was killed. So the fact is that there is a lot of tension. There is a lot of tension in the border areas, and at the same time, you also have to see that it is the first time yesterday that there was drones actually entered the main Kashmir Valley, which is the when we talk about ceasefire violations, they happen along the border. But yesterday night, the drones actually entered the airspace in Srinagar, in Pulwama, in Anantnag, and even Baramulla, and it just seemed that the war actually has come closer to the main Kashmir Valley. Even though there has not been any loss of life or kind of reports of any damage to any civilian infrastructure or such, but there is a lot of panic, and a lot of people are actually concerned about the uncertainty which is looming around the region. And in fact, today morning, entire Srinagar was woken up by multiple blasts, heavy blasts, I mean, which were actually, according to the Defense Ministry, which actually were the strikes carried out by Pakistan Air Force. So yeah, so the real-time situation at present is that there is a lot of panic, and people are actually anxious about what's going to happen, and there is a lot of kind of concern being shown by people about how the foreign countries like United States or China is going to kind of intervene, or what is the kind of or what kind of interventions they can make so that this escalation is stopped.
As you mentioned, there has been shelling in many parts of Kashmir, Baramulla, Srinagar, and other places. What are the precautionary measures that Kashmiris are taking at this point?
So basically, I mean, in a sense, violence or kind of ceasefire violations in the context of border areas is actually not new. It's just that there was a lull for a period of 4 years when after India and Pakistan signed a ceasefire agreement in 2021 February. So after that, we had seen a lot of peace and a lot of development, tourism related development in border areas, and in fact, tourists would also go to these border areas. So now, but now after this May 6th incident, that kind of fear has the old fears have returned, and also the scale of the shelling and the kind of damage it has inflicted on these populations is immense in terms of livestock, in terms of life, in terms of their houses or property. We have also seen a lot of migration from areas like Kupwara, Tangdar, Karna, and in fact Uri, and where people from these border villages have been kind of taken to government shelters or schools and others. So this is the kind of preemptive measures people are taking in terms of people living on the border. But in main valley in Srinagar, there is a sort of a panic around what's going to happen. So there is this trend of people stocking on medicines and trying to buy supplies and keep stock of all the essential items, including buying petrol. I mean, keeping the cars kind of full of petrol. And there is also a sense of kind of an urgency among the people that things might go uncertain anytime. So there is this panic among the people. There is also a sense that many Kashmiris or students who are actually stuck in other cities because the airport is not working since May 6, and the shutdown has been extended till May 15. So there is also that panic out, okay, what's going to happen to the people who are based outside or who cannot reach home, or who are there, or who might be kind of stuck in some other sensitive cities where the attacks have taken place. So
I think we lost that phone line with Safad Sarkar. He was joining us from Srinagar. A lot of uncertainty for people in Srinagar. I do hope they all stay safe. We're going to wrap up this bulletin for now, but like I keep reminding you, we'll keep coming back multiple times a day with more bulletins, more ground reports, more verified information. But before I sign off, here's a quick reminder. It's not just missiles that are coming our way. There's a barrage of misinformation. While it's very important to keep ourselves updated, it's also important that we keep ourselves updated with the right kind of information. So make sure that you keep away from misinformation. You only forward things that are authenticated, and do your part in making sure that you bust any kind of misinformation. Over to you, Basant. We'll come back with more bulletins. Thank you for joining us today.
जी पूजा, आपने बिल्कुल सही कहा, और आपने जो कहा वो भारतीय सेना भी बार बार कह रही है कि कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन फॉरवर्ड करने से पहले उसको जांच लें। बहुत जरूरी नहीं कि कोई भी सूचना आप उसको फॉरवर्ड करें। आपने देखा कि हमारे साथी रिपोर्टर जम्मू, पंजाब और श्रीनगर के अलावा अलग अलग जगहों से आप तक सूचनाएं ला रहे हैं। आप ये जानते हैं कि बहुत कम संसाधनों में हम कर रहे हैं, इसीलिए कभी कभी टेक्निकल ग्लिच भी आ रहा है, लेकिन एक रिस्पॉन्सिबल मीडिया ऑर्गेनाइजेशन होने के नाते द न्यूज मिनट और न्यूज लॉन्ड्री की कोशिश है कि आप तक फैक्ट पहुंचे, शोरगुल ना पहुंचे। तो हमारी ये कोशिश जारी रहेगी। हम धीरे धीरे से और बेटर करते हुए आप तक सूचनाएं लाएंगे। धन्यवाद आप सबका।